Hey guys, Skulls here again with a Konami product that is just as bad as Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. We have Structure Deck Freezing Chains, aka the Ice Barrier Structure Deck, and we'll be going over why it was made and what I think could have been done to either make it better or why Konami hates this. So they made this deck because of I believe the Structure Deck Choose a Theme contest, and for some reason they put ice barriers up there. Why they put it there in the first place, we will never know. And I find it funny that they did. But I'm pretty sure out of all those, we do have Cyber Style coming soon. Not soon, but Cyber Style coming eventually, which will be more Cyber Dragon support, EP. But Structure Deck Freezing Change, they did not want to make this. They didn't want to make a bunch of new Ice Barrier cards. They didn't want to touch the archetype, in my opinion. But here we are with the deck made. So the biggest problem, even though they made a bunch of good new support cards for it, well, good being a relative term, good compared to the rest of Ice Barriers, it's still, in my opinion, not the best. They didn't make it the best at all, really. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't put Ice Dragon's Prison in here or something. Like, I get Ice Dragon Prison is a recent card, but at least it would make sense in the structure deck. I don't know. And we do have reprints of all the Ice Barrier Synchros, which, I mean, Trishula just got a reprint as a Starlight Rare, and we can get him in Dual Devastator. But still, cool to have, as I believe Brionic is in that Dual Devastator. And it's my opinion, out of all the archetypes they have, of course, they probably wanted to make Cyber Style, but they probably also wanted Karibo to win, solely because he's a dual monster. It's classic, and they like to nostalgia pander. Remember the 2020 Megatins? So, I already opened up one of the boxes, and we'll go over some of the cards. And the playmat itself, in my opinion, though the art was really good, I do like how they recommend Blazing Vortex, Ride the Duelist, and Phantom Rage, as well as Legendary Duelist Rage of Ra, but no one cares about that set. But Phantom Rage, Blazing Vortex, and Ride the Duelist, Blazing Vortex does show, like, some common cards that you probably could pull, like Archfiend Staff of Despair and Azurune. But Phantom Rage, they show. I think they do it, but Phantom Rage they show Nagalogia, which you don't even really go into Xyz unless you're playing Ice Barrier or Frogs, which you don't have the cards to make. They do show Jaja and Tactical Trapper, which is okay, but still, it's not the best. But they give two good cards from Blazing Vortex and Phantom Rage, and then Rise of the Duelist. Like this one, like, yeah, it's super rare, so you can have a good chance to pull it. So ignore that. But this one they show two ultra rares, which you probably aren't gonna pull, and Legendary Duelist Raw. Like, I'm pretty sure you'll pull these two, but I haven't pulled one of those, honestly. But let's go over the cards in this, shall we? We'll go over the Revealer, a new one. These, I believe, are the main new support cards, as well as the Trishula one. But these were shown and featured on several YouTuber channels. Even though, like I said, they make it better, it's still not enough. Like, I find it funny that Revealer presents your opponent from Tribute something like, okay, you're gonna beat Monarchs. What else are you gonna beat, Lel? I do like that they put Dwarlin and Tiger King in Ultra, but Brionic, Gungnir, and poor original Trishula and Super Rare. But I fully expected all the Synchros to be at least foil. I think General Wayne is also. These are two new ones as well. I do like Hexa Spirit because he's so cute. He looks like he belongs in Toads as well and Frogs as well. Blizz, Cryomancer, Briar, Defender, Warlock, Spellbreaker, Strategist, Dance Princess, Dai Sojo of the Ice Barrier, which I think his art looks badass. General Raihu of the Ice Barrier, Medium of the Ice Barrier. They include a bunch. They didn't include a bunch of high level cards, but these two I just don't understand. Like, you're probably not going to summon them, so I feel like it would have been better if they made, like, put in more tuner support. Like, Gen X Controller, what is this even doing in here? Like, Gen X Undyne, maybe? But even then, the most you're probably gonna do is put in go into Brionic, but you can't even summon Genix controller. Maybe that, I don't know. It's just weird that they included it. Aqua Spirit. It's not a bad like generic water support, but still like they could have done better. Dupe Frog and Ronin Toadin, Fishborg, mainly these two, but those are good Toad support. Which I mean, if you're gonna make Ice Barrier frogs, why not? But I just find it weird that they only include these two and not really a lot more. Fishborg launcher, yeah, not that awful for a water tuner. Mullen Glacia. That'd be funny to play hand rip ice barriers. Maybe that's what we'll go with. I will try to make a not a 3 times build, but I'll show you what I can make up with this, and I'm gonna put in some of my own personal cards. So, let's see. Sorry about that. Magical Triangle of the Ice Barrier, Medallion of the Ice Barrier, that's an automatic 3 of, Mirror of the Ice Barrier, Salvage, which, it's fine, same with Surface, Where Art Thou, I think you use this to get the Toad Boy, A Pointer, people were talking about how that's a good reprint, especially because it's been used in the meta right now, Venus Shane, Esbon, Mind Drain, I don't know much about Mind Drain, interesting. Heavy Storm Duster, Crackdown, another okay reference, and Terra Trishula, and then your like generic advertisement cards. But though this seems good on paper, like hey, makes a deck that was previously seen as bad into something maybe playable, I still think they could have done a lot better. They missed out on putting in other better generic water support. Like I said, Moray. Did I say Moray of Greed? But Moray of Greed would have been a great draw spell for this. And that's why I'm going to include it in my make of the 3 times, plus some special spice, and maybe some other. They just included too many ice. Like, I get it's supposed to be ice barriers, but they put in too many that just don't do a lot in order to justify building a deck around it. So, I feel like that's the best way they could have improved it. More generic water support. Not just Ice Barrier, Ice Barrier, Ice Barrier, and then Toads. Mullen Glacia is probably the best card, like, generic support in this entire deck. But all the elemental, that can be argued with any of the elemental lords in any structure deck that can make them. So, I'm not going to try and attempt to ball this in the 10-minute video because I'm just trying to sum this up. Should you buy this? If you genuinely feel like you can improve upon it, if you can make it to your own personal thing, go ahead. But if you're just going to do the average buy 3 structure decks and make a deck, I don't think this is the best candidate for that goal. Same with Charmer. Sure, you can do it, and you can probably improve upon it, but if you're playing on a budget, you're not going to want to buy a deck. Like, everyone's going to say, oh, Dinosaur Structure deck would be the best. I get, yes, like, it's a good deck, but there are plenty of other structure decks that you could possibly at least go to locals and steal a game or two. But with this, you probably get, a game of a match. That's about it. So, my final verdict, it's decent. That's all I can say. I'm not even going to say it's good or great, or it's not awful because, hey, you still get all the Ice Barrier Synchro monsters, which many people use that in other decks, but for the time being, if you are just blowing off 3 structure decks, go for something else. This has been Skulls, and I hope you enjoyed my little explanation on why they made this and what they could have done to make this better, and I hope you make the right choice if you're going to purchase this. See ya.